Welcome to Hits Different.
Lee hee hee.
Hoo, 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 hoo.
I'm Ryan, and that's Molly.
And I will be picking up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Hold on to the memories. They will hold on to you.
It was the end of an era, but the start of an age. No one needs to hear me sing.
It was
Sorry.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
I'm so sorry.
It's time to reflect on the end of an era docuseries together, catch you up on the latest Taylor Swift news of 2026, because yes, there's already news. And our next episode after this is going to be our annual end of year, beginning of the year predictions episode. So if you haven't been around for this before, it's probably one of our funniest episodes every year because we go back and we react to whatever silly things we thought were going to happen in 2025. And Alex will make us rewatch whatever we said. And then we will make our goofy predictions for 2026. So that'll be coming next. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast so that you don't miss that. And on Patreon, we're going to be having a little Chiefs end of season episode coming soon. If you've been following along on Patreon, Alex was doing breakdowns of every game. He was illustrating the plays. He was filling you in on whatever Travis said about the game on New Heights. So as soon as we kind of get some info from Travis after that last game of the season, and we think there'll be a New Heights episode this week, he will be doing his final Chiefs breakdown. We'll see if this ended up being Travis's last game. We probably won't know that this week, though. That'll probably be another month or two before we officially know. But we'll talk about what all that could mean. And then, of course, we will be continuing with our Showgirl series in 2026. We've already broken down the Fate of Ophelia song and music video and all the Easter eggs, and then Elizabeth Taylor. So next up will be Opalite. And speaking of Showgirl, if you didn't see the news, the Fate of Ophelia is now Taylor Swift's longest running #1 hit of all time on the Hot 100 with 9 weeks, surpassing Anti-Hero. What do you think, Ryan?
Not to say that we clocked it, but we low-key did, because when we first heard it, we said, is this her best lead single ever? ? Turns out it is. That everybody else agrees.
It is. Book it. I mean, I love Anti-Hero, and I think Anti-Hero was just like such an amazing return to pop for her at that time, coming off of Folklore and Evermore. But the Fate of Ophelia is so catchy. So is Anti-Hero, but like just like a little bit more. It's more like Shake It Off catchy in a way, like we talked about when the album first came out. So it's unconsecutive 9 weeks, but for 9 different weeks, she has been #1 with the Fate of Ophelia. And then The Life of a Showgirl, the album, is now her second longest running #1 album. It passed the 11-week runs of 1989 and Fearless, and it has now been #1 for 12 unconsecutive weeks. Behind only the Tortured Poets Department, which is the hat I'm wearing if you're watching this. TTPD had 17 weeks at #1. Do you think that Showgirl will beat that record?
Only because I know Swifties are competitive. I'm going to say yes. But in my biased nature, I think Tortured Poets should keep the top spot, because I'm still partially in my Tortured Poets era. Like, I never really left. I like paused for Life of a Showgirl, and yeah, it's like, it's just always there. And then you're just like, oh yeah, these songs are so good. So I'm biased, but I think Tortured Poets should keep it. But again, Swifties are competitive, so Life of Showgirl is probably going to beat it for sure.
As Ryan and I were talking about this before we started this episode, I told her then, and I'll repeat it now, that keep in mind, this doesn't mean one album's better than the other. It's just that Taylor usually keeps beating herself with these records. So for that reason, I think that the Swifties will find a way to make sure that she just keeps beating her own records. However, the one reason why I could see Showgirl not beating the TTPD record is literally because of the length of the album. So, like, when Tortured Poets came out, obviously, for a couple of hours, we thought that it was Tortured Poets, and then it became the anthology, and there were so many songs that you could listen to, like, what, twice? Easily twice, maybe like 2.5 amount of songs, and be listening to Tortured Poets compared to Showgirl. So, like, that's where I feel like it might not have the edge, and why Tortured Poets has so many more weeks than those other albums. Also, just like the eras are very different, like not Taylor eras, but streaming and like music availability, from 1989 and Fearless being 11-week runs to Tortured Poets being 17 weeks. Like, there's so many different tactics at play now of how you can accumulate these records.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about what a time to be alive when we got Tortured Poets, and then we just like got like basically a whole separate album. So, like,
Right.
that feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, the length of the album means you can just like listen to so many more songs and still be listening to the album. So it'll be interesting to see with Showgirl if it has that longevity or not, because it is so much shorter. And then also because the Eras tour was going on, Taylor's team was able to release different versions of Tortured Poets Department with the acoustic mashup from this Eras tour show and things like that help get it up in the records each week. And I don't know how they can keep doing that with Showgirl. They've already released a lot of variants. So it's like organically the streams could still be really high, but you kind of need like streams and sales to like get you to that #1 spot in this day and age.
Right. They went hard super early. And so I wonder if they'll just keep bringing stuff back, like the vinyl again, being like, oh, this is back for a limited time only.
Maybe. I mean,
if only like non-album merch counted, because then people would be all over that. It's like, because the merch sells out. So if it was like album specific, if it was album specific merch but not the actual vinyl, that would keep things high.
Yeah, no, they've done, like, I think that's part of the reason why, for example, the cardigan was packaged with a CD, which sometimes they do that, but that's the first time a cardigan's been paired with a CD. Chat says maybe a record store day version. That would be interesting. Yeah, in a couple of months.
That's
it's always
a while
in April.
From now.
That would be, well, it doesn't matter like how spread out these weeks are. It's just
it doesn't have to be
total.
Consecutive.
Both of these records are non-consecutive, actually, because the holidays took the Fate of Ophelia out of the #1 spot. Like, it went to Christmas songs for a few weeks. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, then, yeah. If it's not consecutive, then we could milk this for forever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if that's the case. If that's the case, I'm actually surprised.
Just go release signed versions of Reputation. Get it to #1.
Yeah, literally.
So those are just, some casual records that Taylor has broken on this Monday in January. And that's not the only thing that's going on in the Taylor news, though. She made several generous donations around the holidays. This started actually probably almost a month ago at this point, back around the time that the docuseries was beginning to air on Disney+. She always, when she makes these donations, especially the last couple of years, I can't speak for like much beyond the last, 7-8 years, she is not usually the one publicizing this. It's almost always coming from the organization that receives it. So I just want to say that right off the bat. Like, we only know about this because these organizations told us that she did this. But with these album sales comes Taylor making donations. So you can see her giving back. She got the Feeding America, why did I say it that way? She donated large amounts to the Feeding America, American Heart Association, Music Cares, Academy of Country Music, the Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, Operation Breakthrough in Kansas City, and there were some reports that she was carrying around some cash and like handing it out to the Kansas City Chiefs workers on Christmas Day, which we've heard her doing that in past years as well, like on games that are on holidays, especially. She does it at award shows. She's just like very appreciative of the people around her, and these organizations that are important to her or causes that are important to her. And I just think that it's awesome that she gives back like this. Again, we only know about it because they chose to share. So for all we know, there's a lot of other donations out there that we aren't even aware of. I accidentally got the chat started on Rep TV Talk.
Big mistake.
I know.
Huge. Also, I've seen twice. I don't know if it was from the same person because I wasn't paying attention, but I realized we don't technically have like a fan base fandom name. And coincidentally, I've seen hitters twice mentioned, and I'm like, okay, could use some work, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like a slightly violent. So
I know, I'm like in this
or like
age,
baseball. Yeah.
someone said different hitters, and then I can't remember what came before the other one, but I've seen hitters twice. I'm like, oh, they're talking about us. Like hits different. I get it. We should work on that. We should yeah.
That's so funny.
We'll do a submission for fandom names. That's just a side note. Hits differs. Okay, Alex.
All right, time to get into the main topic while we're all here, the End of an Era docuseries. So if you're looking for specific breakdowns of each episode, we have that linked in the description. If you're watching on YouTube or Patreon, it'll be linked in our audio version of this episode as well. You can go check that out. We had episodes that reacted to and gave like in-depth breakdowns of everything that happened in each individual episode. But in this one, we just kind of want to focus on the big picture. So to start, Ryan, what was your favorite part of the docuseries? And I didn't tell you this, but I have many answers myself, so feel free to get as many as you want.
My favorite part. I mean, I definitely think we were surprised when we got way more content surrounding the bandmates, like just like the whole crew, bandmates, the dancers, the singers. I remember like out the gate, the first episode, we talked about that, about being like, oh, this is literally like an Eras Tour documentary, which obviously we learned later that was really important to Taylor to shed light on other crew members beyond just herself, and that it obviously took an army to make the tour, not just herself. So that was really cool. I feel like we got to know a lot about a lot of her team. Like Amanda and her duplicity between a choreographer and a dancer, and just like the backstories of so many of them. I didn't know like most of that. So that was really cool. They all got their little spotlight.
I agree. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting them to have interviews, but not have their own like fully fleshed out backstories.
I feel like that was like the biggest thing. I feel like I have more for like what for the next question. But
so
maybe I'll draw inspo from your favorites.
Yeah, I started writing them down and then I just couldn't stop. So, I mean, overall, my favorite part was just being able to like relive. No, actually, it's not it. Okay, it's about the Eras Tour. Okay,
my bad. Okay,
it was just being able to relive the nostalgia of the Eras Tour. I know that it's only been a year since it ended, but I think watching it back in this way made me realize, like, oh my gosh, what a moment in time. And watching it made it feel like we were still in it, or we were right back there. Like I could hop on a grainy live stream at any second and try and figure out what the surprise songs were for tonight. But it also was like, oh my gosh, it's over and it'll never happen again. So I feel like it just was a really great way to relive it, but also have to say goodbye again. And for anyone Like I was talking about watching with our families, for anyone who maybe like didn't get why I went to the tour multiple times or like why we care about Taylor so much. I think if general fans go to watch this docuseries, then they're going to learn a lot about why we have so much respect for Taylor. So that's like biggest picture takeaway. But more specifically, how much love Rep got throughout the entire docuseries.
Always never beat what is it? Never beating the sorcerer allegations, as Taylor says.
I mean, reputation got brought up so many times, and Ryan and I actually like haven't really talked about episodes 3 through 6 like with each other yet. We were saving it for the pod. But when I had watched the episodes before she got a chance to for 3 and 4, and I said, when you watch, you'll see why. I really wish we got to watch these ones together. Because those are the ones about the Rep bodysuit.
No, literally. I was so mad. I'm like, I mean, 1 and 2 were good, but yeah, 3 and 4 was like, okay, we're getting into it. And obviously 4 was about like Travis, a lot about Travis. So yeah.
And Wiley and Ready for It, and like how that was the dance and stuff. I'm like, reputation. Yes.
Taylor saying that the gold bodysuit was her favorite outfit of all the outfits at that point, when that was introduced. Which, like, I mean, probably same for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's hard to pick. I guess that could be it. I don't know. I haven't deeply thought about what my overall like top favorite costume is, and that'll take me too long to answer on a live stream. So okay, also on my list was just all of Andrea's contributions in general. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, they're so funny to watch together, but also she's the mastermind behind a lot of stuff, and we found that out.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, can we talk about the fact that she was the one who introduced Taylor and Travis and made that happen? That's been like the question mark of all question marks. And when Taylor was like, yeah, you want to tell this story? And then it's just like, so, and I'm like, wait, so you're saying
the fact that she's like, well, you had to do something different. I'm like, get her, Andrea.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
that's like, how about all the time?
I know. She's such a romantic. She's like, he came to your show, brought a piece of like your, like, not lore, but your world.
He put in, he like put in effort to like learn about her.
Yeah. And you just know, like, I kind of wish, but it doesn't seem like on brand, at least not when cameras are around, because Mama Swift is she's like Tree Pain 2.0, It's like, I wish she had bashed some exes in that moment of like, girl, like,
she did.
Kind of.
By saying like, you had to do something different. That's all she needed to say.
I know.
It was like, please do not date another artist.
Right. She's like, we haven't tried an athlete. And Taylor's like, athlete?
How about some
what
sports?
Would we have in common?
Yeah.
It's like, just wait.
Chat says, I've seen people saying Andrea saying the do something different line is the same energy as eating out the trash from Austin. Yeah, that's exactly. My brother used to call it eating out of the trash. They're all just like, please stop.
My mom's surprised that she doesn't have to convince me to be with someone who's
good for me
or good for me. Yeah.
To be in love with someone who's good for me.
Who's good for me. She's surprised.
Yeah.
Like, also, the fact that Andrea thought Hits Different was a love song, which, I mean, or not that necessarily that she thought that, but she did, and she was like, oh, like, this is like tells your story. And Taylor's like, wait, whose story?
Dude,
like,
that part was so
Travis,
funny.
Your boyfriend? It's like, no. Mom,
the
these are breakup
sass was
songs.
out of control in that scene. It was so funny. Who are we talking about? Travis, your boyfriend. And Taylor's like, this is a breakup song.
Yeah, these are both breakup songs, Mom. Which I never thought of Welcome to New York as a breakup song, but yeah, I mean, that's way more fun to think of it that way.
Yeah, I never associated it as
I'm like,
like
wait,
a
that would have been my
relationship song.
anthem when I moved a year ago, because I literally did the same thing. And I'm like, I didn't know this, because they don't really talk about a guy or anybody else in that song. that I can remember.
Yeah, I
But
never thought of it from a relationship perspective, more of just like a clean slate perspective, like endless possibilities. I'm in this new place. Um,
mhm.
yeah, being able to hear Taylor's psyche of why she put those songs together, that was really cool.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I get Hits Difference just like a classic Taylor bop where when you actually listen to it, you're like, "Oh, yeah, this is a breakup song." But I remember always being confused by it myself because it is so bubbly and because she's so enamored by this person. And it's like, "Oh, it hits differently because it's you." It hits different, not differently. I just imposed that because that's the name of us, but it's our namesake. It hits different because it's you, and then you're like, "Wait, so they are good or they're not?" It's like, they're not, but
Oh yeah, no,
so
they're
there.
not good, but it's like moving on was always easy for me to do, but I can't.
Right.
It's not
I'm
easy
hung
because
up
it's
on you.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's way too happy in that
We need
song,
to
so
come
I
up
get
with
it.
a phrase for the we talk about it all the time on the podcast, but obviously I know like Swifties in general talk about it all the time that there's a specific genre of Taylor song that's like upbeat melodically and production wise, but gut wrenching, and we need to have a
Right.
proper phrase for it because Hits Different is one of
Right.
those songs.
Cruel
Like,
Summer, Out the Gate, those are the yeah.
oh my, love is a lie.
Should my friends say to get me by? Also a
Oh,
relatable song.
yeah. Um, yes. So just all of the Andrea. And then my final note was the behind the scenes practicing of the surprise songs. Obviously, that specific example was fantastic, but just all across the board, across all the episodes with different guests from Ed to Sabrina to Gracie and other times where it was just Taylor. I just love that we got to see that. Which leads me to, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, the fact that she decided them also the day of the show. My anxiety could never.
I don't
Or
think she
or the day
decided
before,
them.
it was giving
Yeah.
vibes like it was the same day.
I I
Like,
didn't get
literally,
that
and she
vibe.
talked
I
about it at
got the
one
vibe
point,
that
she
she
was
was
like
practicing them day of,
she
but
talked
she had
about it
like
about, like,
thought about it before.
the fear of forgetting, like, and remembering, like, how the transitions are gonna go when I don't know, each time, like, it gave vibes that it was, like, that day. Like, with Sabrina and all of her guests, that was, like, same day. Like Sabrina and Gracie, like they were earlier that day. And if not, like maybe like the day before, but either way, like within a
Yeah.
day or 2. But I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
I
not like
took
this
it as
planned, "Okay,
like
July 5th, I'm gonna do these 2." It's like, "Nope, we're gonna just like as we go."
well, so that's why I was going to say this leads me to our next topic, which is what are questions that you had that are still unanswered? And one of mine is how did she actually pick the songs? Because I loved getting to see the practicing of them and the rehearsal of them, but we didn't
Right.
necessarily get the thought process leading up to her sitting down and being like, we're playing these two songs. We saw it like a little bit with, oh, I kind of want to do a little please, 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 or whatever. But
Right.
like, why did you decide to play Hits Different in Welcome to New York that day? Or I know they weren't filming at this point, but I did think that maybe she was going to talk about in 2023 the challenge of not repeating any surprise songs and how hard that was
Mm.
to keep track of and to plan. But we didn't get that. So I still have that question. Like,
The only one
to your
that
point,
made
when did you
sense.
decide? Like, was it a day of like, this is just what I'm feeling? Or did she have a plan or like a list of mashups that, and she would just kind of like be like, okay, we're going to do this one and now I'll flush it out.
I definitely imagine she had a running list and that it was a mix between that. Like we know that she would listen to us and like what fans would talk about. And then it was like how the one for the final show, how she was like, "Oh, mom, I'm finally doing the mashup you wanted of Peter and nope,
But no.
Never Grow Up and Best Day."
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I imagine she just like, "Oh, that'd be good," like just waiting to pull it out. The only one that kind of made sense during the doc was like the day Travis was there. So that made me think, okay, so you are kind of applying it to, you know what I mean? Like there's a reason. Like, oh, I'm going to do Maroon into Cowboy Like Me and, you know. So, yeah. But
Which I thought that was a
definitely not enough.
fun little note for those of us who are like how we all are and everyone who's on this live stream right now is that Taylor and Travis have never explicitly said that Cowboy Like Me is a song that they have clearly identified as one from her discography that they apply to their relationship, but it played like multiple times in the background throughout that whole Travis montage. And then that's the song she sang that night. And there were at least one other night in Europe where she sang Cowboy Like Me when he was there too. So
What was
they
the other
love that
one?
song.
The other mashup? The other mashup of that night? I'm spacing on it.
I don't remember.
Oh, something in The Prophecy Into This Love. So I like how she
Oh,
also,
yeah.
like, kind of implied, which I'm sure we assumed and knew at the time when this was happening real time, but of like, oh, so just how we got Hits Different and Hits Different and Welcome to New York. It's like, okay, these are 2 breakup songs. Meanwhile, you have The Prophecy Into This Love. It's kind of giving pre-relationship, in relationship, and same thing with Maroon into Cowboy Like Me. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Travis is there. So it's like there is obviously sense behind all of it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like going into the questions that we'll never know. It's like she almost teased it in what was it, episode 3? Stand by. Oh yeah, episode 3, where she was like, it ends the episode with her talking about like some things just can't be planned, like coming off of learning about the rep bodysuit. And like this SOT technically wasn't referencing directly about the bodysuit, but like, was it? Was it not? And she's like, some things can't be planned and there still needs to be some mystery. And like, and then she just like, oh, and then it just fades out. And you're like, okay, is that, it's like, because she knows that episode 3 about the rep bodysuit and then the haunted A12 TikTok, she knows. She didn't say anything about anything in the episode. She like did and didn't. And you're like, so you're really not going to tell us anything. There's no way this is all just one big coincidence. So it's like ending on that SOT is like, okay, that could go for like future plans. It could also go for past things. It could be both. And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you my secrets. I'm not going to tell you my surprise song in depth, like mindset, because I don't want to, because it'll ruin the
Yeah.
magic, And it's like, it won't though. It won't. We
Yeah,
promise.
because I feel like I don't know. I feel like in my mind there must have been some big friggin' board that she was using to map it all out, but maybe not. For anyone who's like, what is a SOT? That means sound
Oh,
on
yes.
tape.
Sorry.
And Ryan is using lingo
Sorry.
from our
No
media
one can be
production
there.
days. Basically, all it means is a recording of
Sound
someone's
bite.
voice. Yeah, like playing
Yeah.
over footage. So that happens a lot in these where you're like taking someone talking about something but playing it over a different moment, like rather than seeing them on camera
Right.
saying it. So that moment of the end of that episode when she's talking about some things just you can't plan. When I was reading your notes on this, I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this because I feel like it's very clear what she was talking about. She's talking about the weather, the rain.
The weather.
Yes. Because she had this big plan to wear the gold rep bodysuit that night, but she could have never planned for it to be pouring rain and look as iconic and insane as it did. Like, the fact that it was pouring added so much to the drama of that entire moment. It was like feral.
You always bring in the rationalization. I'm like,
because they were literally talking about the weather that whole episode,
well,
like
that
leading
was
up to
edited
it.
weird then, because, or maybe I'm just biased. Maybe a little bit of both, because it's like, I don't know.
Because she was talking about performing in like any elements and like how it can be stressful,
Sure.
but there are sometimes she's like, basically you need it to just be raining. You can't have thunder, you can't have lightning. If like the wind, like they can create all these dangerous situations, and then you like see them in the lead up to that whole week worried about the weather. And she's like, but when you have like a weather show and it's good is when it's just raining. And then those are like, we get the slow-mo shots of her like whipping her hair up and the water's like flying.
Yeah. Iconic. Yeah, I mean, she couldn't have I get that relevance. Like, yeah, she couldn't have accidentally picked a better day to debut the bodysuit, because that set went so hard. And some of the most iconic shots are from that part of the show. I don't know. I guess it was edited a little confusing, but I think it was supposed to be kind of vague, like could apply to multiple
Yeah,
things.
yeah. I
I
think
don't
I think it was
know.
I just think that they put it over that intentionally because she was talking about like how insane that moment ended up being with the addition of the rain, but you could apply that to like multiple other instances throughout the tour where like things
Mystery
happened that
though?
were yeah, so for example, like the plane landing during her saying thought the plane was going down, how'd you turn it right around? Or the summer of 2023, I think it was one of the first times she sang Long Live. The city randomly had fireworks at, like somewhere else that happened to like light
Mm.
up the sky behind her. There were like so many of those weird coincidences that happened throughout the tour that lined up perfectly with the live show.
I could see the first half of that making sense for the weather, but the mystery part made it seem like it was orchestrated mystery on her part, mysterious for us. Again, I'm biased. So I'm strictly watching, and I've watched that episode multiple times and I feel the same way. I'm like, but again, maybe because I finished the episode being like, okay, and then what else? Like, what else about the bodysuit? What else about the video? Like, oh, you just wanted to take a video around the stadium with your cats. And I'm like trying to analyze the video, and I'm like, is she messing with us?
No, so
Because she knows that we all wanted
I
to
have
know
two
about both of those
theories.
things.
Yeah, I have two
Go
theories for
ahead.
that. One is that that Easter egg was so locked down that she didn't even tell the person who was shooting it. Like
So I figured that
that
maybe,
she
yeah.
knew I'm gonna go block this in front of A12, and maybe she didn't
Right.
tell like all the people that were there because that at that point she's already
She knew they
finished
were
writing
filming
Showgirl.
too.
Yeah, she's already finished writing Showgirl. She knows
Yeah.
she's being filmed. I think it's very clear that the docuseries did not like the people who were producing the docuseries did not know about Showgirl until like after they had filmed because all the Showgirl stuff that got added in was not like docuseries crew footage. It was her own personal footage with Max Martin. And so it's like she gave that to them after the fact, like after Showgirl was public knowledge for them to be able to include that in the docuseries. Or maybe at a certain point, like later
Right.
on, but I don't think actively during the fall of 2024 that cat was being let out of the bag around very many people. So I think
Okay,
it
well,
was
that makes
in,
me feel better
yeah,
because
I think it
I
was
remember
on
a lot
her
of people being
noggin. Like
disappointed after that episode
I'm
and being
gonna
like,
go to A12, and like maybe her mom knows, and Austin and her dad are Tree, but like
for
not all the
sure.
people that would be involved in needing to make that happen. That's my
Yeah.
theory, is that it's in her noggin. Number two is that maybe all those people were in the circle of trust and they just didn't reveal that in the series for exactly what you're saying because like she doesn't want to reveal the way she does her Easter eggs. So like if you're watching that scene and you know, you're like, that's the TikTok. But she doesn't want to reveal it all. And then she puts in her walking by A13. That's in the
I don't know if I
docuseries.
clocked that. I don't know if I
Yeah.
clocked that.
Yeah. So if
I
she had
mean,
acknowledged the A12, then she should acknowledge the A13.
which again is why I feel like, yes, maybe that soundbite was her talking about the weather. Maybe it wasn't. But I think the vagueness of like how it was placed is applicable to all that we're talking about. Cause it's like, who knows? Like, leave a little mystery, a little glimmer, and but one, I remember a lot of the feedback from people being like, "So you're just telling me that the rep bodysuit, the reason why there was only one is because there was limited material, and that's the only reason why there weren't multiple, and this and that." And it's like, okay, I guess that's a rational explanation. It's like, so are we all just crazy? And it's like, Taylor, tell us we're not crazy. That's all I wanted was just validation to be like,
Yeah, like
nah, like the
why
A12 was
did
for
you change
real.
it? Yeah, why did you change the
Why
red
Miami
bodysuit?
Night 1? Why? Why? Why didn't you talk about that in the
Yeah,
documentary?
like was it
Was
always
that
in the
'cause it
plan that she would eventually have another red bodysuit? Was it always was at some point the plan that she would have it with Rep TV, and then she starts writing Showgirl and she's like, it's not gonna be Rep TV, but I'll still change the bodysuit. Like, yeah, we don't know.
I don't know. It
They
made me
acknowledged
angry,
everything
low
about the Rep
key.
bodysuit except like why there had only been
Everything.
one. Like even the fans watching like before she wears it, they're watching an earlier stream and they're like, is it new? Nah, I was just clowning. And that's the person who's watching Amir's live stream, by
Right.
the way, like in the docuseries. So shout out
Mm.
again to Amir because he's technically in the docuseries.
Well,
But
no,
the word
that's kind of
clowning made it in there.
they did explain it in the way because they basically said there was only one because there was only so much material. He said they only had so much material to make the first one, and they made a second red bodysuit, but they had to recreate it out of different material. And
Hmm.
so like, they answered that, but it was like, that's it. That, that that's why it was all tore up
That still
because you
doesn't
just
answer the
didn't have enough
question for me, though,
material.
because I'm like, wait, why did you make something for a 2-year world tour that you can only make one of? That makes no sense.
Because I mean, I guess like you said, she went into the tour, Rep TV was on the table. So I do think that
Yeah.
plays a huge part that obviously she would never expose any of that backstory to. Um I think yeah, that was she was probably like, "Oh, this is a great story. I'll just have one. I'll mess with them. They'll notice. They'll be like, "Wait, out of all the eras, why does only this one have one outfit?" And that will be like the play on which we all expected with like the gold bodysuit. Just like how with 1989, she turned everything blue and so on. She was like, "This is how Rep will get its moment." And then unfortunately, the moment never came, and now we know why. But it's still like just the answers we'll
We
never
could
know.
talk
Like
about this in this particular unanswered question for the
were we gonna
entire
get Rep
episode.
TV to Miami? Yes or no? I just need to know. Because that would have
Tamara
been crazy because
said,
I was literally there, which is the crazier part, is that I was
mm.
literally there that weekend, so I'm like anyway, we'll
Tamara
have no
said, I
feeling.
think gold will be the color of her 13th album.
So I
That
thought
would be
about that, but
cool.
technically it's not Fearless, though.
Fearless is yellow.
Okay, because I also thought that because when they were talking in the episode, they made a big deal about gold. And they were like, gold, gold. And I know they were playing on the fact that we were all freaking out, being like, it's a gold bodysuit, but still. And then they showed randomly the
Mm.
Fearless sparks that were gold. And they had like a gold moment where you're like, okay, gold is having a moment here beyond Rep TV or Rep or
You're
whatever.
right. Just
So
even
I
in the
also thought
imagery to
that.
promote the docuseries, there's a ton of gold. That's
I also
interesting.
thought
Yeah,
that. I was like,
maybe this is like how Taylor put a bunch of orange outfits in the Eras tour summer 2024 at Easter Egg Showgirl. Maybe there's a ton of focus on gold in the
and
docuseries.
this is all in episode 3. So yeah, go back and watch because that is the same one where you said they showed A13. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Gold had a moment, which again, I was like, seems a little much. Then I thought Fearless held gold, but I guess technically not. Well,
Jay
good
Chris
work,
said, "What do you
everyone.
think the A stands for in A13?" So we think it means album.
August or April. Well,
Oh,
no, because
I think it means album.
it meant August for A12.
I think that it could have just meant the 12th album.
Girl. We found out about it in August A.
I'm saying
So
album.
April?
I'm going with album. Ryan's going with months. She's not
Well,
releasing TS13 in April. That's
she's
so
not.
soon.
It could be August or it could be next August. It could be next April. That feels fitting. I could see that.
I was about to say that's so far away to Easter egg, but it is Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Alchemy
Can
Swifty says,
she
do you think
plan 2 years in
TS13 is being
advance? Come on.
written or is it too soon? I think it's absolutely already being
No, it's
written.
never too. I don't think she ever has a period of writing nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it definitely changes as her life happens, but yeah, for sure.
Right.
Well, we'll remember all of this in our 2026 predictions. It should just be 2026/2027 because this is kind of like our bye year almost. That's not a thing, but
Our
bye
bye
week,
year.
bye year.
Swifties, everyone rest up, hibernate.
Yeah, save your monies.
Carbo load, get your sleep because you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Um,
Okay, what was another question that you had that was unanswered? We just dove right into the rep stuff because obviously that haunts my dreams.
Yes.
I think we both definitely have the same one.
My other one, I kind of feel like I touched on a little bit with the surprise songs too, but just how she decided the eras tour eras, like the order of them, the songs for each of
Mm.
them, why debut was left out. I feel
I Speak
like
Now got one song.
yeah, two for a little bit, but I feel like we didn't get that, yeah, just kind of the philosophy of why did you pick these certain songs. And maybe she didn't do that because she's smart and knows that it would offend fans. Like, can you imagine her
Yeah.
saying, so if you look at Red as a whole, I had to go with blah blah blah, and then people would be like, blah, or like
I actually hate
1989,
this
why didn't you
song.
include Out of the Woods? Like, everyone's gonna have an opinion. Getaway Car on Rep, obviously debut not even being on it. Like, maybe it was intentional to not include the thought process there because there's no answer that's gonna make everyone happy.
It's true. And I remember saying that I didn't stand by that. And I'm like, whatever, people don't care. And then I'm like, remember when you, and still sometimes, well, I think it's been recovered, but the brief period where I thought she hated Rep. And yeah, it hurt my soul. I was like, why does she hate Rep? Why doesn't she play the songs in the Eras tour? And it's like, we get it. I get it. It was a traumatic time. But yeah, it still hurt a little bit, you know? So yeah, she can't come out here and be like, yeah, I actually just, that's a skip for me. It's like, even though I don't think she feels that way about any of her music. Let's be
No,
so
I
for
just mean,
real.
like, if she
But
had to go into the logic of why she cut ones and put the other ones in, I think it's probably almost like too logical for people to handle.
right. She's like top hits, guys.
Yeah,
Period.
like that is what the whole Red set is, just like
The
Taylor's
only one that
top
would be
hits.
the only one that I wish we like that would have been fair to explain is Tortured Poets because it was before she had any album reacts.
Yeah.
Like, so that would have been cool to know because it's like we can't take offense to it. She didn't even know what we thought about the album. Those were literally her favorites or something, or maybe what she thought people would like. I mean, she nailed it, but I think that's really interesting that she went to bat for all of those songs and was like, we're putting these in. I don't
Yeah.
care if you guys like this, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Um I also think that that's more of it probably has to do, like, there's multiple factors, and one of them would be the popularity of the song and like general public awareness of the song, but then also like her vocal range to be able to last for 3.5 hours and like having to think about the pacing of that. Like,
True.
I think that the whole set list in itself is very strategically up tempo era, down tempo era, like just for her
Mhm.
movements. But I think they probably had to think about that vocally too. Like, my personal theory is that's why Out of the Woods
Black
isn't
Dog.
on the set list, is because like it's such a like high energy
Yeah.
vocal song, and she has to pick her spots of like where
Even
she's
though
gonna
Who's
hit
Afraid
that
of Little Old
range.
Me, she was like, all right, I would omit this because the vocals are insane, but like you can't omit that song. Cause yeah, that song, I'm
Well, that's
sure.
what I mean.
Yeah.
You have to have like Down Bad and Fortnite, which I'm not saying the vocals aren't amazing. I'm just saying like sometimes like the
Yeah,
range
they're
or the
more
energy of her voice in the song, it's like you have to surround those moments with other ones to be able to like
yeah,
keep that up for 3.5 hours.
right. I also, which I know we share this question that I'm bummed about, but maybe it's for the sake of um the question of what she ate before and after her shows. But I wonder if she didn't want to let people know because I don't know, people with EDs or just like there being any kind of judgment or I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems simple to me. I'm like, just tell me what you ate, girl. Like, I want to know. Like, I know in the what was it in the Miss Americana? Don't we see her eating like a cheeseburger or something?
A burrito.
Oh, it's a burrito.
She's like, this, I didn't eat burritos until this year or something. And yeah,
She
because she
shows
talked
like
about her
some
eating
food
disorder
posts.
in Miss Americana. Like, that's the first time we really knew about it officially.
She shows like going in on food post show a little bit in there, and I'm like, yeah, I want more of that. But maybe that's just like, I don't know. But, I mean, she shed a little bit of light on the workout, which was just so funny when she was just like, "I hate it." Like, this is the she was just not stoked. She's like,
Why do I have to do pull-ups? There's no part of the show where I have to do pull-ups.
right. I'm like, "Girl, you look great and you're so strong. Like, you're back. Come on." But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, the
just from like an athlete
regime.
perspective, knowing how she fueled her body would have been interesting.
How much protein yeah, even if it's just like
Yeah.
how much protein, like boring macros, how much protein did you eat? How
And the
many calories?
hydration, because I think
Right, how
one
much
thing that I've
water?
always wondered
That little
was,
sip every time she'd go under the thing, it's like, that's
yeah,
not enough.
one thing I always
Like,
wondered was if any of the transitions between eras was long enough for her to have like a porta potty bathroom break. And I think that we found out that no, that's not the case. She said the longest
right.
break was like a minute and a half, and the longest she's away from the stage is 2 minutes total. So there's definitely no time for that. So you have to probably
You
track
can
your
do it.
liquid intake so carefully leading up to that. Like, as someone who's run races where you're running for 3-4 hours and you don't want to have to use the bathroom, you have to really think about all of that, and like when you have to cut yourself off and blah blah blah. So I would have
She
found
could
that
use the bathroom
interesting.
that quickly, for
I don't think
sure.
so. From the paths we saw her take under the stage, there was like no room for her to do that.
Well, we didn't really see we saw, like, a little bit, but not really, like, all the different, I don't know what they were called, the dressing areas, like, how
The
there were
quick change
multiple
rooms,
dressing yeah, like, we didn't really see those, which that was crazy that there were a bunch of different quick change rooms. I'm like, there could have been a bathroom or
I
something in
guess.
there, which is
Yeah,
kinda crazy to think that and, of course, if that was
maybe.
true, she wouldn't wanna tell people, "Yeah, someone was in charge of emptying out my
My
toilet every
chamber
night." It's
pot.
like
Yeah.
yeah, literally.
Honestly,
She's like,
like, for
"I'm
her sake,
just
I hope
not
that
gonna
there was,
mention that."
because that's always like, just as a fan, when we were on the floor and we had to pace out like our last bathroom break to be able to get back to our seat and stuff, it highly stressed me out. So for
I was
her,
fine because I'm always dehydrated, but she can't be dehydrated. So, like,
right,
sh if she doesn't have to go
we're
in
just
3.5 hours, it's
standing.
not good. It's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
didn't intend to discuss Taylor's bathroom habits for this long, but it is a question that I feel like I have about most performers. And
Right.
athletes too. Like, I wonder the same thing sometimes when games
How do
go
you
into
make it a whole
overtime.
game?
I'm like, dude, do they have to go to the bathroom?
Maybe because you're sweating as much, it kinda, like, levels out when you're, like, sweating
Yeah.
equally as so,
Yeah, well, they also have halftime and stuff, but
yeah.
yeah.
The 1989 bodysuits,
Mm.
like like, was that just not a thing? We just not gonna even talk about that? Like, it's fine. They just haunted our dreams, and Taylor Nation saying, like, counting them and, "Oh, there's only this many left," and like, "Oh, we're just not even we're" they didn't even have a moment. They didn't even get a moment. So,
Yeah, there
we'll never
we
know
did
about that.
see in the quick change coverage, we did see the people who are in charge of her outfits and her wardrobe every night. So that also made me wonder, like, again, was there some spreadsheet or some big whiteboard like tracking the combinations that they knew like we weren't repeating the 1989 combinations for this long? But then if so, why did they leave those two out? It makes no sense. Maybe that's just their own way to have fun with the fans, and Taylor didn't even realize it was happening the whole time.
Dude, I know, it's like
You're like,
it
let me
would've
pick
been
this out for
kinda
her.
in hindsight, I wish we'd had a moment for Taylor Nation. Like, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Just a
Just
little
like
bit of a
just like a
moment.
blurred, like modulated voice. Like, we don't even need to know who it is.
Right.
It's just like someone
You
in the
know,
shadows, like,
because
I am
they're
Taylor
at the
Nation.
show, or are they not? I mean, I guess they don't have to be, but they would go live sometimes.
Oh
Not
yeah.
very often.
I
But I'm
mm,
like, were
I
they
think
not
Taylor Nation
there?
is multiple people, first of all.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not many people though. It's a tight
A
crew.
small group
But
of people. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm like, we don't even get a moment for Taylor Nation. I just give me something. Like, who are they? Did you know that they've been messing with us for 2 years?
Apparently
Longer than that.
back, I
But
don't know which tour this was, but back in the day, apparently, like, when Taylor Nation became a thing, they literally were at concerts with a fan booth type thing of like, hey,
oh,
we're Taylor
really?
Nation, come sign up for the email list. Yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
Now their clout is so strong. It's like, if you don't know who Taylor Nation is, like,
Yeah. This is probably like
Yeah, it's like
early days of
buckle
Twitter
up.
and stuff. Yeah.
We know so much about Taylor Nation. We know that they definitely hired some new people like this last year or two because the vibe shifted and they started like really going ham and messing with us, and just like whoever was on Twitter was, yeah.
Some Swifties have a theory that Scott Swift or just someone in the Swift family has a Taylor Nation login and that they'll decide to sometimes pop on and mess with us, you know?
Mm,
But yeah,
I
you can
trust,
definitely tell the
yeah.
tone changes sometimes between Taylor Nation shifts. So,
Right.
like
You're
certain
like,
inside jokes will happen with like certain people, other people will be more business. Like,
mhm.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to know about her vocal rest. I mean, we
Oh,
heard about it
yeah.
because of her shooting down Travis the first time.
That was a lie though, as she said.
Yeah. But like she has to have actually had vocal rest. And I think that it's interesting the docuseries crew pretty much only ever interacted with her around the stadium, right? Like getting into the car to go to the stadium, day of
Mhm.
show, rehearsing, blah, 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 and then like a clear interview setup. So
Right,
they weren't necessarily with her when she woke up in the morning. It's like
right,
I assume she did have some sort of vocal rest. How
right.
long? How could she not talk to
What kinda
people?
what kinda tea did she drink? You know, like,
We
because
did see that
aside
she uses
from,
silk in her coffee, which made me feel great. As you know, I love silk.
well, she also implied that that was all that was available, and she also
I
trolled it
know.
and made it seem like, I'm like, also that's crazy. I'm like, "You're Taylor Swift, and it doesn't sound like these are your choices. This is just what's in the fridge." It's like, girl,
They're stocking it with whatever she likes, though.
when she kept lounging around in those rehearsal rooms, I was like, I know that's the norm, but why I expect her to have something better? I'm like, girl, like, because they're just not cute, you know? Like she said, they're for athletes a lot of the time, and they're just not cute. But I'm like, girl, I'm sorry, you know? But then it's like, okay, well, where did she stay after the show? What
Well,
hotel did she
and again,
stay at? Did she book
have
the whole hotel? Like,
as
you
people
know?
who have a history with media and production and like and travel for like similar things, um like I know that usually whoever the top person is at like whatever that event is, so that would be Taylor. Usually the stadium or whatever knows what the requests of that person
For
are
sure.
to have
Yeah.
the mini fridge stocked with whatever. But there's usually people who would like go to Starbucks.
Exactly, like a runner. Like,
Yeah.
where is your runner? Are you, maybe
I
she's just
did
that
find that
secretive and she's
fascinating.
like, yeah, like she's not stoked on it. It's like, girl, you should have a portable espresso machine. Like, I don't know, like pull out the
I don't
500 and
know.
six hundred
That cold
dollar
brew she was pulling out of the fridge like looked like good cold brew.
Starbucks.
Like I
It
mean,
was Starbucks. Yeah.
was it?
I mean, it's fine. She just didn't seem stoked on it. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but we never saw food though, not once. So,
uh Alchemy Swifty says, based on her yelling at the game before the show, she definitely doesn't do vocal rest. But that's what I mean.
right.
Like the vocal rest clearly happens before she gets to the stadium, if it happens at all. But it has to happen. There's no way you can sing for 3.5 hours, 3 days in a row, and not have a little bit of vocal rest.
Dude, and she's also, like, talking about how, like, how she said her brain doesn't shut off for until, like, 4 a.m., and she just, like, kinda lets it happen. I'm like, she's up recording voice memos as she does, being like, "I got a new song idea," or like, "Oh, I just thought about the surprise song," like, I don't know. Um, it's hard to actually imagine her taking legitimate voice rest because I just feel like she's so, like, like, "Gotta talk to
Yeah,
Travis, gotta do this," you're so wired. She's like, "I can't not speak." Maybe
right.
she spends the time outside of the 3 days, like,
I
touring on more vocal rest,
I
like,
feel
her
like it's
time
probably
off.
just the morning too. It's like, yeah, she's probably wired when she gets back. And
Right.
then in the morning, she probably has a certain period of time where she's just not interacting with anyone. I did see
Yeah, I
some
don't know,
people saying that they thought it was weird that Taylor was so separate from everyone, but that's also very normal. Like, she's not going to
right,
be in the same dressing room as 20 dancers.
right. Yeah, because it seemed like she needed a lot of, like, quiet, Again, also, if you're planning your surprise songs, you're practicing. I mean, I liked that you saw a glimpse into her just being like a normal person and having anxiety. like when they came back from the break and she was worried, like when they went to Miami and she was worried about having forgotten her moves and she literally did. And then when she was just like, okay, sorry guys, like thanks. And it's like, yeah, you're a normal person. Also, it's a 3.5 hour show. So it's madness that you don't forget ever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the fact that she still has that kind of anxiety after doing over 100+ shows by that point is crazy.
Yeah, and
So
I think it was Amanda that said like, yeah, no, it's okay if you want to practice before you fall off of an 8-foot platform. It's like it's okay. It's been 2 months.
right.
Let's
She's
run
like, I had
this.
3 mistakes, but it's okay. It's good. She's such a perfectionist.
I
And
know.
I imagine they were probably like, what mistakes? I didn't see
No,
anything,
Amanda
but
knew. She's
sure,
like, yep,
yeah.
I know which ones you're talking about. Yep, this is how
Mm,
you do that there. It's like they're all wired that way. And I think a lot of people are like, let's say you're someone who works a corporate job like we do, and you get a performance review, and it's like 5 great things. And then, like, here's 2 things you could work on. It's like, all I'm going to think about is the 2 things I need to work on.
yeah.
Anything positive that
I
you
mean
told me is not being absorbed. Like, that's
we're both
Taylor times a
perfectionists, so
million. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, who am I to speak? But yeah, definitely
I'm
shed a lot
surprised
of
that she
light on
could
like
keep track of
normal
what she
stuff.
forgot. Like, I would have needed a minute. I would have been like, I know I made some mistakes somewhere. Let me think about it for a second. But she's instantly like, this, and this I need to redo.
Right. Right. Yeah. It was cute
Um,
that her mom was, like, there with her, like, which I mean, I imagine we probably expected, but, like, she's just there, you know? She's, like, the best, which makes so much sense looking back on, like, Loverfest and why it was so condensed because she, like, needs her mom to be there, and at the time when her mom was sick, you know, she was like, 4 shows seems like a safe, realistic
mhm.
amount for everyone involved, so it's like, it makes a lot of sense now. So
Yeah. I didn't realize kind of Andrea's role in Marjorie's career and how that really prepared her to be able to support Taylor. And then
mhm,
the fact that Andrea has such a strong business background in general, like that was all just really interesting to learn.
right. Were there any other questions I mean, I feel like those were the
Oh,
main things.
how so I think just due to the nature of them recording all of this in 2024, like I get why we didn't talk about the Taylor's versions that much from
Mm,
2023, but I was hoping there would be a little bit more about the planning and announcements of both Speak Now and
true.
1989 and the surprises there. Like I thought we'd get a little segment of, and then I planned for Taylor Lautner to come out, and then he ended up backflipping, or like, you know what I mean? Just
True.
like, oh, and then for 1989, I wanted to make it a little different, so all the outfits were blue. Like I thought we would get a little bit about that.
Right. Maybe because she did seem to really emphasize how she wanted it to be about the show, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the Eras Tour, and I think maybe she didn't even think about going into those details because that's her and it's her focused. Um, yeah, but I mean, of course, we wanna know, you know? "Why did you go live that day? Nothing happened."
Well, in one of the interviews, they basically confirmed, I think it was Jesslyn, or no. Yeah, no, it was Jesslyn because she was talking about her time off when she was going through treatment, that she would watch the streams, but there's a personal video of her watching a stream, and it said Swift stream on it, and that's not like a streamer like an Amir. I think Taylor's team had their own in-house stream that family, friends, and then in Jesslyn's case, like she wasn't able to be with the tour during that time. They had an official stream that they could watch. Because people had that
Oh.
theory that that's what happened that day that they went live on YouTube, was like, oh my gosh, they went live on the wrong account.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Like they
Yeah.
probably have some private YouTube account or something where they
Dude,
like
what a
do
oh
that
my
in house and then
god.
it's accidentally like whoop.
Do they realize yeah, they're like, "Meanwhile, it's just into spiraling about that for months." Like,
But I'm talking about like the
trying to make
time
it
where they
make
went live
sense.
accidentally and showed some of the Paramore set. I'm not talking about the time they went live on Instagram and Taylor's saying, I don't want to live forever and dressed to that is still confusing.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like
Um,
unless that was a mistake too. And they were like, just keep going. Just don't make it weird. Don't give yourself away. Just keep showing it. And then end it dramatically for us all to wonder for the rest of time.
yes. Let us
Yeah, there's
know
so many
if you have any
details.
other unanswered questions in chat. Cowboy like Megan says, speaking of relatability, I love the little relatable things they left in, like her tripping over air and opening a bottle with her mouth. Yes, that was funny. Do you think that it's weird that she didn't mention Jack Antonoff at all? You know, I was hoping there would be more Jack.
I've heard a
We
lot
do,
about that.
we do get his voice when she's recording the black dog, and she's like, "Old habits die screaming," and she whispers it, and he goes, "That's it, that's the end," and she says, "Why? Because
Oh
it sounds
yeah.
like I'm dying."
Oh my God. Oh,
I
when
wish that
we
we got more Jack, and I do find it a little confusing because he performed with her in London the same weekend that Ed Sheeran performed, but I also don't think that it's like that serious, you know. I think
right.
Taylor already has the Long Pond sessions on Disney Plus with Jack and Aaron all up in that. And
Right. I mean, technically Haim and Phoebe didn't have a moment and like, they were part of the show. So it's like I think she also probably struggled being like, this is just too cumbersome. Either this
mhm,
documentary is going to be like 20 episodes long and like who's signing up for that? Or we have to
we
kind of
are,
make
but
it
yeah.
make sense. I mean, everyone like make it for like a whole year's worth, like every week, but who's actually going to like produce that? But yeah, so her omitting them, it's like she was just at Haim's like wedding. So it's like it's not that serious.
Yeah, I
But
mean, Haim wasn't on the tour during the part where they were filming. I think that's where like the Jack
oh
confusion
yeah,
comes from, is because
true.
he performed with Taylor like the same show that Florence came out and sang Florida for
Mm.
the first time. Jack did the surprise songs
Maybe
that
he
night.
doesn't want to be on it.
Maybe.
Maybe. I also wish selfishly we'd gotten a little bit more of TTPD. Which I know, like you just said, we technically her filming started later, even though we got some filming from pre-Europe. Um, and then the clips we got from Torture Poets were more of like her own clips. But I wish we'd still gotten a little bit more because it was like just as it was really fun to see the life of a showgirl, like those moments of like, ooh, like this is I love the making of the album little videos
Mm-hmm.
and like behind the scenes. Those that
Her
to me
vibe
is
into
like,
Honey,
yeah, I know. It was so
repping the Team
relatable.
USA merch, which for anyone who watched my breakdown of that episode, I mentioned that I thought it was hilarious that she was wearing Team USA merch and that I felt like it was intentional to be like, hey, I'm dating an American. But someone pointed out in our
Mm,
comments something that I was totally not remembering, which is that the Olympics were going on that summer. So it actually tracks
mm,
100% that she had Team USA merch, especially because she provided, I'm assuming she got paid for it, but she was featured with Ready for It live from the Eras
right.
tour in the Olympics promos on NBC. So like they probably sent her some merch anyway.
True.
And it was Ralph Lauren, I believe, which she wears a lot. But yeah, I'm not surprised that we didn't get as many clips from TTPD because they were probably all pretty sad.
I mean, she just gave us like a little bit and like dropped like in episode 4, like when she said like, oh, like feeling like I'm not a person, I'm a big conglomerate, especially not men that I date. And I'm like, yikes. And she's nothing works. There's no one for me in this world. And I'm like, I feel the same way, but I'm not you. So which is more relatable? I don't know. But it's regardless, it's super sad. And then obviously that was like a great tee up of like enter Travis. But yeah, and then when she briefly mentioned, like, yeah, I went through 2 breakups during the tour, like that's a lot. It's like it's a lot and it's not. Been there as well. I'm like, you were on the tour for a long time, girl. Give yourself some grace.
She said she went through 2 breakups in the first 6 months of the tour, and that was a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
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 It's more like the
Right.
time frame. I think if it was like 2 breakups over 2 years, that's a lot different.
Right.
But really, she said like first 6 months, but I think if we're really digging in, it was for the first like 3.5. Like it was all together. Yeah.
Right. But then you also found the love of your life within that tour too. So like, good work.
Yeah.
Like,
Good way to turn it around.
Right? So
yeah. It would be cool if we got little YouTube clips of the making of TTPD or Showgirl like we did with Rep, but I don't know if like the docuseries technically, if they consider that box checked. You know, I feel like if we were going to get it, we would have gotten it at this point, especially for Tortured Poets. But yeah.
maybe. I mean, Miss Americana had Rep stuff and we still got stuff later on.
Yeah. True.
We know she's got tons in the vault for them. You know, she has so much freaking footage. There was probably so much footage that they didn't use in the show.
I know. Ugh,
So much.
give us an extended cut. Final question is, well, maybe second to final question is, what is something that you learned that surprised you or that you didn't think we would see but we did? And if you already like gave your answer to this as we're talking through other things, that's okay. I, per usual, have multiple things written
down. The surprise songs, again, the day before, whatever, being that close, surprised me. I don't know if much surprised me outside of things that weren't answered, or again, like we mentioned, the bodysuit and the A12 and all of the stuff that was talked about during that segment. That surprised me because it wasn't what I thought or what I was expecting, because it was kind of vague. So I don't know if anything else really or in the Mama Swift, which we talked about, like her being the connection between Travis and Taylor was like such a
I know.
huge,
Everyone's been trying to figure that out for so long.
such a huge drop. And Taylor's like, you want to tell the story? And then, you know, I'm like, does Andrea know in this moment when she's telling the story that all of us have no idea about any of this? Like, this is crazy.
Well, we knew about parts of it.
Well, we knew about it, but not, you know, we're like trying to connect. I think
we knew about the cousins taking the picture in front of his locker. Travis had talked about that on New Heights. But yeah, we didn't know who was the first one to be like, hey, Taylor, this dude talked about you on a podcast.
Right. And I vetted him because I hit up other people who she knew and can confirm he's good to go. It's like, I think we all thought that Cam's brother was I remember there was like a rumor. We thought like maybe Cam was like the connector, and it was like
there's no way he's going out to his boss. No matter how inclusive they say the environment is, and I believe them, I don't think he's going out to her and being like, by the way, I know Travis Kelce. I thought that it was the tellers because they are friends with Kylie and Jason, and Taylor had already worked with them and like become close with Kelly at that point. That's why I always thought.
It makes so much sense. It's like, let's be so for real. Her mom is one of the only voices that she genuinely trusts, especially when it comes to men. If anyone's going to be like, I mean, I feel like that whole, hey, Taylor, there's a guy who's interested in you. I feel like the amount of times someone close to Taylor has probably come to her with that information, not on the level of Travis, but just like, hey, so-and-so, it's, you know, it's like,
I don't know. I feel like she had a stigma. Like, we as fans view her as the most incredible person. Why would you ever not want to date her? She's beautiful and intelligent and like a great person. But I think that the picture of her that people painted in the media and with the men of her being a serial dater and her being crazy and like, oh, do you want to have a song written about you? I feel like that probably like people were maybe not beating down her friends' doors to be like, hey, let me talk to Taylor. True. That's why Travis publicly being like, I want to date her, basically, was so shocking. Because most men are usually like, Like, oh yeah, Taylor Swift, yeah, she's cool.
True. Also, this subtle Fate of Ophelia lyric drop that obviously at the time we didn't know about Fate of Ophelia when she's like, he blooms under bright lights. And you're like, where have I heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, she was probably like, this will make sense by the time you guys hear this. But yeah, at the time, we didn't know about it.
Oh yeah, in chat they're saying Erin Andrews and Carissa Thompson. Yes, they. I don't know if Taylor knew them yet though, but they definitely
Mhm.
on their podcast they had a whole bit after Travis shouted out Taylor saying, "Let me tell you, I can vouch for this guy Travis. If you ever
And then
hear
they all hung
this, you should
out.
date him." Yeah, that's so
They were in his
cool.
carousel for the Keep It 100.
Mm-hmm.
Kept It 100.
Yep. Um, so for something that's surprised you or something you didn't think we'd see that we did, in chat, J. Chris says Taylor feeling as though she always has to be strong in public rather than just allowing herself to feel and express her emotions. That was sad to me. Seems like a heavy burden to carry. Totally agree. I talked about that a lot in the breakdown of episodes 5 and 6 that I feel like we watched Taylor have to work through so many different moments where if I were her, I probably would have cried a little. And she kind of had to like suck it in and just keep going and think more about how other people were feeling about the end of the tour than letting herself sit with how she was feeling about the end of the tour. Um, so one thing that I was surprised to see and that I didn't think we'd get to see or find out was her explaining why she ended up getting choked up in Toronto. As a fan, I just thought that that was her being overwhelmed by the end of the tour. But then we see in episode 5 her saying, no, it was actually because of this speech that Camila gave before about her mom and how she wishes she got to see her and how grateful I am that my mom and dad and Travis got to see me on this tour. I'm like, oh, that's not what I thought was going on in that moment. Nor did I ever really think that we would like get a peek behind what was happening in her brain in that moment.
It's also crazy that she wasn't able to that was on her mind. It's like as if there's not 1,000 things coming at her when she does a show, but she like that stuck with her is
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. Um, I didn't think we'd hear her talk about hurting herself under the stage when she tripped and like
Oh
cut her
yeah.
hand.
Right.
Um, I assumed that Vienna and Southport would be covered, but I didn't know like
Yeah,
the
that's
depth
like
that it would be covered in, and obviously finding out that she met with the families privately before each show, like that was very surprising to learn and to watch her have to compartmentalize.
I feel like as a whole, the documentary really highlights how selfless she is as a whole, like as an artist, as a boss, as a teammate, whatever, and how she kept mentioning, how she just does everything for everybody else and thinks about everybody else, and how, she was like, what was it like towards the end for like the last show, and she was like, people are going to be they're going to have emotions and I need to be there for them. I need to be strong, blah blah blah. It's like, girl, this is also your moment too. Like, who's got your back, And I mean, luckily she has Travis, obviously, thankfully now, but he wasn't there. You know what I mean? So it's like you still have to be this rock at all of these shows when no one's your rock because, at least in that moment. And yeah, she's just so selfless. And then when she talked about the fans and just how she wanted to curate this whole experience for us. And then you think about us as fans just never shutting up about wanting more. And which she also is very aware of. It's like, wow, we're lucky that she gives us anything because we are never satiated. And yet she literally is constantly thinking about what would be best for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Andrea kind of, I feel like, said as kindly as she could. I mean, it was in reference to Vancouver, but I think it could be applied to the Taylor Swift fandom as a whole. She was like, Taylor is given this everything she has, and now I hope that she can go and enjoy it and like live a little, and the fans can like let her have that. It's like, noted. Check.
We'll try our
We good.
best. We stay being insatiable. We're so
But that was
sorry.
before, like, Andrea saying that would have been before she even put out Showgirl. You know what I like? Back in the timeline, it's like,
Right.
so
It's like, but then
it's
you have
a
like the
self-fulfilling
sprinklings.
cycle.
Right. Because then you have the sprinklings where she's like, music is therapy to me. Writing music is therapy. Like I'll be writing whether I'm on tour or not. Like, and just talking about how she also like just loves the craft that is music, which I every time she says stuff like that, I'm like, thank God. Thank
Right.
God. Like, because that means this isn't going anywhere. Because again, we're insatiable.
Yeah. And
But
there
it's
are so
also
many
nice to know
ways
that
that
it
she can
means as much.
fulfill, yeah, like that creative itch too. It's
Right.
like the songwriting, but then there could be the music videos, and like there's just like so many other parts to her outside of touring that can be
Right.
easier on her overall lifestyle than touring. So,
It's nice to know that it means as much to her as it does to us as well. And I think that's why this whole parasocial relationship works, because she's not just an artist creating music just to like check a box or make some money or break a record or whatever it is. It's like genuinely at baseline, this is like her life and her passion. And that's why she's so good at it.
right. Yeah. She truly loves
Do what
it.
you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
As they
And
say.
obviously, it seems like she loves lots of different parts of it, but at the core of it is her writing about her experiences is cathartic for her. And then
Right.
the rest, we're just lucky that she cares so
Right.
much to put all this effort into the rollout, the Easter eggs, the music video, the choreography, the costumes, and like create this whole freaking universe for us to just get lost in.
Well, it's funny. It's like I imagine her like writing torture poets and starting it being like, I need this, and this is just flowing out of me, and like I'm going through a really hard time. But also, dang, that song was kind of a banger. And like also factoring us in at the same time, being like, ooh, like that was kind of, it's like a mutual like thought process of, wow, I feel a lot better. And while that album was healing her, then she puts it out and then it's healing others. It's like that album healed me and is constantly my go-to. Like it is the breakup album of all time. So her therapy is my therapy, which we've said. So again, the parasocial relationship is perfect. It's very mutually.
Zama said, "Love tastes so much. Wish she tours in South Africa one day. That would be cool. That'd be really cool." All right. Actual final question is, do you think that this is officially the end of an era, or that there is still some other type of Eras Tour content that is still out there that we're gonna get?
No, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. Is it over now? Yes.
Oh, I was doing the but Daddy, I love him. It's over.
Oh.
But F it. It's over. I think that there could still be a live album on the table. I know that that's not like new content per se, but
Live album.
like a live version of the song. So basically like the concert film, but putting it on streaming so that you can just stream the audio version of the live music.
I guess, okay, I guess if I'm like, sorry,
it.
let me go back into the clown bank. I'm like, I can't possibly be out of ideas. I'm like, wait, no. Surprise song album. I know a
That
lot
too.
of people, myself included. That's what I need.
Yeah.
I don't need the Eras Tour album.
I do. You don't want to listen to Who's Afraid of Little Old Me live instead of recorded?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
I'd rather have the surprise song mashups instead of the grainy version that I've been hearing that's on Spotify right now. That's like bootleg AF. But
the one I listen to the most is the Bolter Getaway Car because I have the high quality.
You have your
one
own version of that.
No, because they sold it on the website, so I was able to download it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they teased that they have, like, yeah, I need that. But
yeah,
then you're like, okay, well, she can't give us all of them because that's stupid. That's too much. That's way too much. But I don't know. Then again, now I think about it, maybe the ones we got is like, that's it. They're like, here you go. You get like
Yeah,
these 4.
that's why I lean more towards the live album, because the mashups is just like there's so many 2 years worth of surprise songs, 1 year worth of mashups. But I feel like a live album
Just the
could happen.
mashups.
That's
We don't need
normal.
the
Like
normal.
artists put out live versions of their album all the time. Thank you, Gracie. Thank you, Jack. They put out live versions of their tours from last year. I was lucky enough to
Khan.
be at the Bleachers MSG show that he just released a live album for recently. The Gracie Red Rock show was amazing. Taylor's released live versions before as well. Like the old version of Long Live that I used to love listening to was a live version of it.
Has she ever done a full album though?
I don't know.
Or full whatever?
I don't
Full
know.
tour?
Technically, like the 1989 concert film was on like iTunes, but I don't think that you could listen to it in the same way. Anyway, that's what I am manifesting in reality. Like I think that that could be a possibility. My like pipe dream that I don't think that we're gonna get, but I would love, is a director's cut of the Eras Tour concert film. So forget about what's happening on stage. I want to see like literally the behind the scenes.
Control
We got
room.
that little clip of the stage manager under the stage being like, lift up, and 3, 2, 1, go. What I need that version.
Right. Also, that makes me think there were so many times throughout the show, the series, that definitely felt like a jab towards the haters, whoever those haters are, but we know they're out there. When she kept emphasizing at different times of like how none of this was accidental, none of this just happened overnight. It's like, girl, who thought any of this happened overnight? But I'm like, I know
There were
there's
people out there saying she didn't sing
Yeah.
live, and like that her band wasn't playing live and stuff like that. Yeah, they were haters.
My dog agrees.
So
yeah,
Rhea said,
I was like, I know this is talking. Oh, there she is. I was like, I know this is in reference to the haters because I cannot relate. I'm like, girl, we know. Like, what are you talking about? No one thought this happened overnight. We constantly thought, how the heck did you do this and continue to do this? Because this is insane. Like, but yeah, she kept sprinkling that out. Like, this doesn't just happen. I'm like, obviously. Like,
yeah, I do think it's a good point to make though, just for everyone on the tour, not just her. But I loved the quote where she said something along the lines of, so many people look at this and wish that they were on this stage, or they were in this moment, and they all admire like this part of it, but none of them want to put in the effort that it took to get here. And it's like, yeah,
right.
Because that's the top percent in all of those different crafts that ended up on that stage or behind the stage or whatever.
Someone said it still blows my mind that they pulled it off for 2 years straight. No, literally. Like, I think Taylor mentioned something at one point of like almost the same thing, like waiting for the ball to drop, and kind of herself being like, when she's also talks about like the safety of her crew and how every week it's like this anxiety of like, all right, we did another one. It's like, I felt the same way, especially after bad things kept happening. It was like towards the later shows, I was like, girl, just get done with this. Just be done, because I'm stressed for you guys and I'm not even involved. It's like,
yeah, she seemed ready.
Yeah,
everyone else was having their emotional moments, and whether she was keeping those away from the camera or just like away from those people, like maybe it happened behind the scenes, but it definitely felt to me like she was happy that it was ending in a good way. She kept saying, this is a happy moment. I don't want there to be sad tears. I want there to be happy tears. Like, we did this. We've done the hard part. We did something no one else is ever going to do. Like, I'm excited. I feel like this is the perfect way to end it. Like, she was pumped.
Like, I'm tired of going to the gym. I need a break.
She's like,
I'm tired of lifting weights.
I don't want to do another pull-up for a long time. I mean, she was literally like waving goodbye at us, like the countdown to the final shows, when she was like 5, 4, like during Midnight Rain, and at the end she goes,
we're all over here mourning, like, what are we gonna do without it? And she's like, I cannot wait. I'm counting down. There's like 4 more shows. Let's go. Like, she even said, she's like, I lost like myself in the tour, which of course, it's like, who are you outside of the tour? You're nothing, because you can't mentally even like, you know. Also, I wish But again, she doesn't give us a lot about her personal life, which I respect, even if I want more. Which I think a lot of the things we've touched upon technically deal with like personal aspects. But I'm like, it would have been cool to know what she did during her breaks. You know, I mean, I guess we knew a little bit, like she went to football games, this and that, but it's like, how does one approach 2 months off? What are you doing? Are you just
She's
laying
trying on that
down,
gold
laying
red bodysuit.
horizontal? Right. I'm like, are you laying horizontal for 2 months? No, you're not. You're Taylor Swift. But, you know, because
Yeah.
we saw what like some of the crew members did. They were like,
Hmm.
you have this time off, and you're kind of like, what do I do with my life now?
Right.
Like,
And they're talking about like I have
pay
to go get
some
my car
bills.
registration and stuff. That
Yeah.
was
How
so real.
boring.
When I
Yeah.
used
You're
to
like,
get back
how
from a
boring is
long
this?
work trip away like that, I would literally, because I would usually be jet lagged from like a different time zone and stuff too. The first 2, 3 days, I would just sleep
Right.
and eat, sleep and eat. I'm like, I am exhausted. And my work
I don't
trips
feel
were
like,
maybe a
yeah.
month. Like, I can't
I don't feel like she
imagine a
does
whole
that.
summer. Yeah.
I don't think she does that. She doesn't know how to rest.
Yeah.
She's too much of a genius. Too much. I mean, when you saw the little clips of her as a kid, and when Andrea was like, Taylor just knew from the get, like, this was going to be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And she was ready and willing to put in the work from day one. It's like a lot of people don't have that stamina.
Yep. Easy
Crazy.
Chair resident said, I wonder how many non-fans watched the Eras Tour docuseries and came away with a new respect and understanding of her, right?
Mm.
I'm hoping that that people would give it a chance, maybe if they are non-fans, and that they would watch. I don't know. A lot of
I don't
people
know if
already
I
have
would watch if I
preconceived
wasn't a
notions about
fan.
her. Yeah.
Like thinking about like another artist, I'm like, I don't know if I would take the time to watch if I wasn't a fan. I'd be like,
I feel like because it was such
unless
a
you're
phenomenon
curious.
that, yeah,
Yeah,
that
you're
you
like,
might dip your toes in. Maybe you don't watch the whole 6
maybe.
episodes, but maybe you watch a little bit of the beginning, just scrolling through your Disney Plus
Right.
thinking, huh, oh yeah, the Eras Tour. What about that?
Definitely had a good split of providing content, yeah, for people who are new here to be like, by the way, this, and then giving, people who've been here the whole time also like a little bit as well.
Yeah. Easy Chair resident said, I mean more people who weren't really haters but just never gave her a listen. Yeah, no, I agree. For example, like my parents like some of Taylor's songs, but they're nowhere near my level, and I think that they will casually end up watching the docuseries, at least the first episode, at some point because of my interest in her. But I hope that by watching it, they take away a newfound respect as to why I like her so much. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Um,
If you could pick one episode to have someone who doesn't really, not necessarily a hater, but doesn't really know and definitely could be enlightened to Taylor, which episode would you pick?
Probably episode 6. The final one. I feel like it just like encompasses the whole tour really well. The red bodysuit one, I think like episode 3 is
That's
like
too niche.
is if you just dip in for that, you're like, y'all are crazy.
Oh, that was the one thing I wanted to say. That I feel like a lot of people were like, girl, or they teased it in the trailer, one of the trailers, and I think we all thought that it was like some, classic editing manipulation of like, oh, that's not actually what it's going to be in the show. When she said that when Travis came out on the stage, that was the loudest the crowd had ever been. I guess to be fair, at the time, yes, because it was pre-bodysuit. But I'm like, girl, be so for real right now. Okay. Like, that made me mad when she said that. Because I was like, that's not true. It's
I
not true.
feel
I
like
was
she
mad that they
kind
didn't
of
talk
said
about that
it.
more
I kind of
during
feel like
the
she
clip.
said that line with a bit of a smirk on her face of like, challenge me on this. You know what I mean? And it's like, girl,
I was so mad.
I think
like,
even Jason would say that it was the Miami night one because he was at both.
I'm like, I know it didn't cause an earthquake like Seattle, but I feel like decibels, people's hearing was lost that night.
I don't know how much
Like,
bigger is
for
Wembley
real.
than Miami though. Producer Alex, if you could look that
Producer
up, that'd be
Alex.
great.
Researcher, producer Alex.
Because
Yeah, that made
Wembley
me kind of
is
mad.
bigger, so it truly might have been louder. just
'Cause
by
she
that
didn't
alone.
really
But the
by,
clips
like,
from people
legitimate
outs
decibels?
legitimate
Oh my
decimals, but like the clips from the people outside of the stadium in Miami on night one is
dude.
like the
You
best
can't
clips
even hear
ever.
Taylor. You can't hear anything. And when she didn't even talk about that when she was talking about the gold bodysuit, she was so chill about that whole aspect of it. Like, some of the people there were like, "Oh my god, this is so exciting. Like, they're gonna be so excited," but, like, we didn't hear what she said. Is it because she would've just trolled us too hard and been like, when she, was practicing with Sabrina and she was like, "Girl, they're not even gonna hear you. They're gonna be so loud. They're gonna be like, oh my god, is Sabrina here?" And, like, she was totally making fun of us, and I was like, "Accurate." So
She
maybe
was
she
making fun of
felt
us, but yeah, but also being like, don't worry about it, because like literally they won't be.
yeah, no one's gonna hear you. But yeah, we didn't get more about that. Like, Taylor, what did you think before you revealed the bodysuit? Were
And how
you
do they
like, "Oh
protect
my
their
god"?
ears? Like, what kind of, I mean, that's probably just common knowledge for musicians in general, but how do you protect your ears every night? Um, the
That was the
the official
loudest it's ever
report is
been.
Wembley 90K, Hard Rock 65K. So yeah, that's a big difference. But the largest crowd she played to was Melbourne, the cricket grounds, just for facts.
We need decibel levels. Who tracks that? Do people track that at each concert?
Dave said
I don't
Jason and
know.
Kylie went home before Travis took the stage. Yeah, as I was saying that, I realized that. I'm like, they were there the same weekend,
They
but
went
Travis
home?
Travis went on
Mm.
stage the final night of that London stretch, and I think Jason and Kylie
Wow.
went the first or second night. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, maybe in Taylor's world, like, how she also can't hear accurately because she also has, she couldn't hear either of them accurately. Because she has her own earbuds and that's why she has to take them out during the applause for after champagne problems because she's like, "Oh, I want to hear you," and she's like, "Dang."
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
I'm
good
biased,
point that it's not
but
just the number of people in the stadium, it's the way the stadium's designed
true.
acoustically for how the sound like reverberates. So,
Like, yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I was at Miami night 3, but I mean, every night's super loud in the Eras tour. But yeah, I don't know. We've all seen those videos, and it sounds pretty insane.
yeah.
I appreciated the clips that they used, which must have been really hard to pick the social clips for this documentary. I was like, where do you even begin? But I laughed at the ones they chose for the rep bodysuit of being like, oh my god, it's gold. That's where again the gold had a moment. They kept like emphasizing gold, and it was really funny. But
Dude,
we didn't really hear
for a split
Taylor's like
second, I started to get delusional. Like, what if they used, because like I posted my reaction from that because you were at a restaurant or something. I was like at
yeah.
home and being recorded, and literally you see like my eyes twitch because I'm like, don't get excited. It's not. It is. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's new. It's new. But
Dude.
I watched that episode like 12 hours after it came out or something, and I knew that if I had been in it, someone would have told me by that point. So I wasn't like really thinking it was going to happen. But then when I realized Amir was
Mm.
in it, I'm like, yes, someone we know made it. That's crazy.
Wait, he was in it?
A girl was
Or there's
watching
in the
his
stream?
live
Oh,
stream.
okay.
You can see him though.
Really?
Yeah.
Which episode? Did I
In
know
the
that?
Rep Bodysuit episode. It's the girl
Okay.
who's like watching it before Taylor changes it when they're explaining the hype about the gold bodysuit and that
Oh.
fans have been tracking it, blah, blah, blah. There's a girl that's like, so we watch every night to see if she's changed it. Oh no, we were just clowning. And she's watching on her computer Amir's live
Oh.
stream.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people watch his live stream, so if anyone had a shot, it was definitely him. I know, I was clowning too when they were talking about how Rep had a moment and everyone wore Rep stuff. I was like, "I wear Rep outfits multiple times. It's fine."
It's okay. We will be able to say forever that Taylor commented on one of our YouTube shorts. So that was enough.
From one of my favorite albums, not Reputation, Tortured Poets.
Tortured poets.
Forever in my heart. Anyway, I mean, yeah, tomato, tomato. I'm gonna say that the Rep bodysuit was the loudest, but when she said that, I was like, girl, because yeah, when the trailer came out, it was sounding like she was saying that about Travis, and I think people were like, nice
She
editing
did say it about
manipulation.
Travis.
No, I
Yeah.
know, but in the trailer we didn't know, and people were like, "Oh, nice
Yeah.
editing manipulation." Like, girl, you know that's not it. And then we saw it, and it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't that was yeah. She said that about that. Or did she? They could have faked the edit. We don't know because they asked her the question. They could have. I mean, that would have been weird if they did that. Like, because
No,
editing,
it's like a
you could have
full
plugged it.
the moment where she says it in the series, though, like I see what you mean about the trailer, but in the series, it's a longer rip where she's like, yeah,
Is
they were
it?
so surprised and it was yeah.
Yeah, it was all relevant though. You could easily say that about the bodysuit, but that'd be really bad. And she'd be like, I didn't say that about that. I'd be like, shh, doesn't matter. Just gonna make some
I just
Swifties
remember
angry.
that like on the New Heights episode after that, that Jason and Travis literally were talking about it too. He's like, yeah, they got so loud because she changed the color of her bodysuit. And Travis said something like, yeah, she'd never done that before. Or whatever. It's just like the fact that this football podcast is talking about the red bodysuit. I mean, at that point, obviously, Taylor and Travis have been dating for over a year. The family's going to the tour in Europe, whatever. It shouldn't be that surprising, but it's still just so funny to me. Like,
What a
everyone
time to
was
be
in on the
alive.
gold bodysuit.
What a time to be alive. Yeah, I think episode 3, of course, was probably my favorite episode.
Yeah.
It felt the most like a little hug. Like, there it is. I'd like more info, but this is fine. It's fine.
I loved the rep part of episode 3, but my favorite rep moment was episode 4 with the Wiley segment. Like that overall was my favorite backstory because I think I knew the least about his background out of all of them. So it was all new information.
That had
And
the cutest footage of like when the dancers were doing the moves and like, and then when you saw their reaction, like that was probably some of the best documentary footage I feel like we got in terms of like, oh, nicely done, like getting those shots.
Right. And really, they were really able to tell the full story from start to finish.
Right.
And it tied in well into the overall timeline of the docuseries. Like, I think some people felt like the docuseries was maybe like a little all over the place in the very beginning episodes because it touched on so many things so quickly. But I really liked how it progressed from end of Europe to end of tour. And like we got many different pieces of things along the way because of them picking that timeline. Like a little bit of a break and then like gearing up for the end and, all that stuff in between. So,
and as people who, like you said, like have worked in that field, it's like I can't even imagine the task of having to edit and make that docu-series make sense. You're like, where do we even? Okay, how are we gonna? And yeah, they did a really good job of being like, oh, now I see what you're talking about. This as we keep moving along, it's like also perfect that they had those highlighted moments of people from the tour. It's like that was really well done. You're like, oh, they're on a break. Here's a little backstory of, like that was really smart and interesting. I'm like, did they know in the beginning, like when they chose like to highlight those people at those pivotal moments? Is that because they were like, oh, this is this far along in the tour, this will, plug well? I don't know.
I think that they had interviews with everyone and had certain behind the scenes footage and like figured out which stories made sense to tell based on like what other like tour footage they had to pair it with. You know what I'm saying?
They probably just took a bunch. Yeah. That makes sense.
But then for the bits in between, you could tell some, for example, one of the band members that lived in Nashville, like that was probably easier to shoot versus some of them were more like home footage type things.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. I think the Wiley thing just got me so much because it's so perfectly articulated what I think we know as Taylor fans, like how she supports all kinds of people, and how the Eras Tour was a true representation of that. But the Wiley moment like really took it to a whole other level of like, oh, this is an all-female dance number, but this like man wants to do it who has been criticized for being different as a dancer his whole life, and Taylor's like, does he have the right outfit? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that's all she cared about. Well, ship it to wardrobe, we'll be good.
And Wiley posted all these messages that people were sending him after from their kids being like,
Mhm.
that's how I feel. And it
I
literally,
know.
every time I like watched parts of it or saw him post on social media, it just made me cry every time.
I know. Didn't, uh, we post something back at some point, a video that had Wiley, and didn't his dad comment and was like, "That's my son." Remember?
I think you might be
I
right.
wanna say it was Wiley, 'cause I remember we were like, "Wait, whose, like,
Yeah,
dad is coming on here?" Yeah, and his dad was in the doc, wasn't he? Like, or there was a video of his dad in the
maybe.
beginning talking about
Yeah,
his 2 sons or whatever. Um, yeah, his dad is very involved and very supportive.
that's awesome. Yeah, I love getting all their backstories. Well, these were our top takeaways and overall thoughts on the End of an Era docuseries. We've been going for almost 2 hours. Thank you, chat, for hanging in with us. We had almost 300 people at one point, and it's going late into the evening, especially if you're in a different time zone. So we appreciate all of you joining us on this Monday night. Before we say a final goodbye, a reminder that this month we're gonna figure out if Taylor is going to be inducted into the Songwriter Hall of Fame later this year. So that's some news to keep an eye out for in January. And then, like we said at the beginning of the episode, we're going to have our next episode will be our 2025 predictions reaction and then making our 2026 predictions. So we can't wait to share that with you. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of that upcoming content. And yeah, any last words, Rye?
It was the end of an era.